T95 FIVEAA.
Riding along in my automobile, my baby beside me at the wheel. I stole a kiss at the turn of a mile, my curiosity running wild, cruising and playing the radio with no particular...
Welcome to the Car Show. Joining us is Trent Nicolik, Managing Director and Editor there at drive.com.au. Trent, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Jade. Afternoon, everyone.
Great to have you on the program. Let's talk Kia's EV5. This is going to be one popular car.
Yeah, I think anything that Kia does that's got EV in front of it, which means electric vehicle, clearly, is going to be popular. And they've unveiled the concept, I guess, concept car, so not production ready, but a very good indication of what it's going to look like. It's their new electric SUV. It's the size of a Toyota RAV4. Should be in showrooms overseas by the end of this year. But typically, as we have seen recently in Australia, we'll have to wait probably until the middle or late next year. But very, very futuristic, especially on the inside. I don't know if you've seen all the photos, Jade, but the cabin, to me, looks really futuristic. It's like something out of a movie. Of what cars might look like in the future. The seats spin around to the sides. The doors both open out. The rear doors open reverse so that you've got a huge big opening. You've got the table, a little fold-out table, and then the chairs sort of sit towards the edge of the vehicle when you spin them around, so you can sit
I've just Googled
looking out of the car. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
really
a
crazy.
camping kind of car.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And then also, too, what I thought was interesting about this one is Kia's claiming that the cabin has been created from materials like seaweed extract, upcycled plastic bottles, and what it allows them to do, I guess, is to use even more environmentally friendly materials that, you know, like if they're clearing a lot of plastic bottles out of the oceans, for example, and then reusing them to make interior trim, good for the environment as well.
Wow, that's a hot-looking car.
Does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah. How much would that be?
Good question. I mean, I've just tested the EV6 GT, which is a slightly larger electric vehicle from Kia, also an SUV, and the most expensive one of those is around $100,000, just over 100 plus on road. So this could be, look, it's hard to guess, but if they want it to work, if they want to sell a lot of them, I reckon somewhere between $70,000 and $85,000 maybe would make a lot of sense. If they can get it under $100,000, I reckon it'll do really well.
Is there a wait list already? I bet
there will be.
Yeah.
What happens with stuff like this is basically, like if you walked into a Kia dealer this afternoon on your way home from work, they're going to say to you, look, we don't know exactly when we're getting this car, but we'll take $1,000 deposit if you want to give us that.
I want one.
And we'll put you on a list, and it's a fully refundable deposit, obviously. But they'll put you on a list, and then once they know that we're getting production and when it's going to happen, then they can give you a delivery date. But yeah, they'll be getting bowled over with requests, but they won't have any detail in terms of timing.
I have never seen anything like it. That is so futuristic. That's cool.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I like it.
I think the whole camping outdoorsy thing, like their whole pictures in the outback, that's probably got me. They've sold the dream, which they do.
Absolutely.
Hey, the BMW XM plug-in, that's been slammed. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, look, I thought this was really interesting. So basically, we've had a look, because we haven't driven it yet. We've got one of our overseas correspondents who's filing a story for us in the next 24 hours. But the BMW XM is effectively a fully electric, there's a plug-in hybrid version of an M car, is what I was going to say. So it's their first high-performance plug-in hybrid SUV. So when you see an M badge on a BMW, it's usually about performance and speed and capability. The XM's the first standalone model from the high-performance M division, so there is no regular BMW equivalent to this, and it's a plug-in hybrid. But what's most interesting, I guess, is that overseas media, predominantly from the United Kingdom, it has to be said, have talked a lot about how It's very firm over rough surfaces. It's not that comfortable. They don't like the interaction of the petrol and the electric engine and the way that it works. Driver feedback behind the wheel and practicality. So they're sort of usual things that we would expect an M car from BMW to deliver. But we ran this story in the news section, but the reality is overseas journalists look for different things to what Australians would when they're testing a car. So we'll wait to see what it's like when we drive it locally, I guess, more importantly. But it's just interesting to see that, a lot of these brands that have got a very specific way of delivering a car, as they move into plug-in hybrid or electric, it's very difficult to deliver on that. We were only talking this morning in the office that lightweight sports cars, things like the Mazda MX-5 or the Toyota 86 Subaru BRZ twins, they very likely, certainly until they make massive changes to battery technology, that kind of car will likely become extinct because electric cars are heavy. So it's very hard. It's going to be very hard for Mazda to deliver an electric MX-5 that feels like the current petrol-powered MX-5 that we have now. So I think the motoring landscape's going to change a lot, Jade, over the next 10 to 15 years, and it'll be really interesting to see what these brands that are synonymous with delivering a very specific type of vehicle are able to do.
If you'd like to ask Trent a question about any car that you're thinking of maybe buying, selling, or a classic or anything at all car related, 8223 0000. Harry's messaged in and he said he's eyeing off an SUV, likes the Mazda SX60, also looking at the Grand Jeep Cherokee. Just wondering what the hold up on them is like these days.
So Mazda, I think he means CX60, I think is the one he's talking about. That's a new one from Mazda, and I think it's a really good option, to be honest. The Jeep Grand Cherokee specifically is not a bad vehicle at all. The issue with it is going to be, I guess, if you want to do any sort of serious off-roading or remote area touring, you're probably smarter off having a Mazda if you're going too far out of the big city areas, because you'll be easily able to access service and repair and stuff like that. But Jeeps are usually very good off-road, but the problem is in Australia you don't have access to the same amount of service. So for me, I think, if you look at Mazda CX-60, you've got plug-in hybrid if you want. You've got regular petrol engines. It goes up to around $87,000 before on-road costs. So really stylish SUV in that segment. Think sort of CX-7 size, so not quite CX-9, I suppose, even though it's up there. But I reckon, for me, out of those two, I'd go Mazda, I think, Jade.
Beautiful. Thank you for your advice. Let's go to Zelko in Parkside. Hey, buddy, how you going?
Yeah, good. Yourselves?
Oh, we're good, thank you. What would you like to talk to Trent about?
You were just mentioning the BMW, the M, how some of the punters are saying it's the transition between petrol and electric is not smooth.
Yeah.
I just took ownership of a hybrid Camry 2 or 3 months ago, and that thing is as smooth as like the
it's unbelievable, Zelko, isn't it? Like I say to people all the time, the way Toyota's done it, and as a byproduct of that, Lexus, obviously, because it's still a Toyota under the skin, should be the standard by which everybody else is judged, to be honest. Like, you can be driving a Camry hybrid, and to be fair to Toyota, doesn't matter whether it's a RAV4, Corolla, Cross, Kluger, doesn't matter what the platform is, their hybrid drive system, it's almost imperceptible when you go from electric to petrol and back again, and what it's doing underneath the skin. You don't even know what it's doing. It's just very, very cleverly designed. It works well in the real world. And as you'd be learning, mate, now that you've taken delivery of it, the other thing that makes a lot of sense, I think, to the average buyer is that you're using about 50 to 60% of the petrol you were using before. So you just cut your fuel bill while not having to do anything different about the way that you drive. It's just very clever.
It is. It's amazing. The other thing I wanted to ask you, what's the difference between like a hybrid and you're talking about plug-in hybrid?
Yep. Yeah. So your one, Zelko, and it's a good question because a lot of people don't understand the finer details of it. Your hybrid is the Toyota system, which we've started calling a closed-loop hybrid. So you just put petrol in the car, you drive it normally, you don't change anything about your behaviour, and the system does what it does. With a plug-in hybrid, you actually have to plug the car in and charge it. So it has an electric battery and an electric motor, but it's got a bigger electric battery than your regular hybrid does. So what it allows a plug-in to do is go a certain distance on electric power alone. Probably the best example at the moment is the Mitsubishi system. We just tested the Outlander, and it'll go somewhere between 60 and 80 kilometres on pure electric. And then when the battery's flat, it shifts over to the petrol engine and you just drive it normally. The two things with a plug-in hybrid: one, you have to plug it in, otherwise you don't get the battery power, whereas your hybrid, you just drive it and it does what it does. And then the second thing is they're generally more expensive than a regular hybrid as well. So I think they work for some people, but there's a really good reason why just about all of the taxis that you see, so many people using cars for Uber, are Toyota hybrids and Camry specifically, because it does exactly what Aussies want it to do.
And I was going to say, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a hybrid. If you've got to plug it in, you might as well go fully electric.
Yeah, mate, exactly. And look, I think the reason plug-in hybrids are they're not massively popular because compared to the hybrids like you've got, they don't sell anywhere near the same volume. But I think the reason some people are considering them and buying them is because they want to buy an electric vehicle, but they can't justify buying one now because, they might have a property that they go to on the weekend, or they've got family interstate and they need to go on a longer drive. And a plug-in hybrid works well for those kind of people. But I maintain, and I've been saying for a long time, that I think a regular hybrid like what Toyota does works the best for most Aussies.
Sounds like it. Thank you, Zelko. We've got to go to Dave now in Woodville Gardens. Hi, Dave.
Hi, good afternoon. Put my name down for a Mitsubishi ASX. I was just wondering what your thoughts on it would be.
Yeah, ASX is great, mate. Really good little SUV. Very competitive about the other ones in that segment. And look, there's plenty of good stuff to choose from in that segment too. Hyundai's got, Kia's got Seltos, Volkswagen Tiguan's in there. There's a lot of good stuff. Sorry, Volkswagen T-Roc is in there. There's a lot of good stuff in that segment, but I really do think ASX is a very smart value for money purchase. They're durable, they're tough, they're cheaper to run than just about anything else in the class, and they're a good little thing to drive. They've got everything you need in them, and they're enjoyable to drive. So, yeah, good choice, mate. I think you'll like it.
Well, I'm hoping, because it's going to be the retirement car,
Yeah, mate, and it's a perfect choice for that. Absolutely. Like a lot of people who are retiring, getting close to retiring, who are downsizing, they're looking at that segment, and I'm speaking to more and more people who are buying ASX, and for that very reason.
Dave, thank you so much. We're going to take a super short break, but if you'd like to talk to Trent about any car question at all, 8223 0000.
Did you know that white lilies are one of the most popular type of funeral flowers, representing peace, grace and dignity, and a popular choice for a respectful, dignified service that doesn't cost the earth? simplicityfunerals.com.au.
With power prices continuing to soar, Solar Heart is helping smart Australians soak up more sunshine, store more energy and save more money on every bill. And right now, you can save up to $1,000 on Solar Heart solar power systems, including our new high-performance 415-watt silhouette panels. The bigger the system, the bigger the saving. So don't settle for soaring power prices. Get smart. Get Solar Heart. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
That's the sound of KFC's new $4.95 fill-up featuring 2 golden crunchy Wicked Wings. Not everywhere, not forever, and pick up only. So drop into KFC before 4 p.m. and get wicked with it.
G'day, it's Eddie May here from NRG Solar. We've grown from 3 staff at the beginning to 30, 40 staff and a number of contractors now. And radio's definitely played a big part of that. We've been working with FIVEAA for 5 or 6 years now, and in that time we've seen a lot of businesses come and go in our industry, and I think that's a great example of people having to go short periods of time, not happy, leave, and for us that longevity has enabled us to have a really great relationship with the audience. So when we meet someone that's a FIVEAA customer, they feel like they know us and we feel like we know them, and it makes for a really great experience for everyone involved.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit fiveaa.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link.
Decor Lighting's big 5-day sale is on now. In-store only. Get 20% off all decorative pendant lighting, table and floor lamps. 5 days only, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
Decorate with Decor Lighting.
Don't miss the Ranella Mazda Mad March 4-day sale event. Score incredible deals, free CTP, free rego, plus your choice of one of 3 huge bonuses. This 4-day sale event must end this Saturday, only at Ranella Mazda. LVD 152780.
Hi, Australian Athletics champion Matt Denny here. Coles are the proud partner of Grassroots Little Athletics. Since 2017, they've donated over 3.8 million bananas to help little athletes live healthier, happier lives. Coles, value the Australian way.
$13.95. Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Welcome back to Afternoons. It's 22 minutes past 3 o'clock and we're talking with Trent Nikolic for the car show from drive.com.au. Joining us, Trent, we've got Norm in West Beach. Good afternoon, Norm.
Yeah, good afternoon. I've got a Ford Territory 2013, a turbo diesel, and it's done 65,000 kilometres. What would I get for it, please, if I want to sell it?
I reckon you'll get pretty good money for that, because I would imagine most of them will have more kilometres than that, mate, to be honest. So I think it could be up as high as $20,000, depending on, how much demand there is at the time that you sell it. But I'd be advertising it around that sort of money, 20-ish to start with, I reckon, and I'd be making a lot of the fact that it's got low kilometres, because the majority of 10-year-old Ford Territories are going to have a hell of a lot more Ks on them than that. And because you can't really get anything like it anymore. I mean, the Ford Everest is a really good four-wheel drive, but it's very different to a Territory. A lot of people still want to get their hands on one. So, yeah, I'd be advertising it around that 20 mark and starting there, mate.
Be very well looked after.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So that's why I think ones that have been looked after and got low kilometres are always going to be worth more money.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Norm. Have a good afternoon. Can I ask you, Trent, with a car like that's 10 years old, a lot of people would go, oh, it's 10 years old, but it's got low clicks. So is that, what does that mean? Does that mean it's more of a 4-year-old car?
Yeah, look, in terms of the usage of it, absolutely. Like if you look, the average Aussie does somewhere around 15,000 Ks a year. So the 60,000 that Norm's car's got, approximately, should have happened in the first 4 years, but it's 10 years old. So if it's been serviced every 12 months or 10,000 Ks and been looked after, yeah, it's effectively got the running of a 4-year-old car on it, even though it's 10 years old. And look, the good thing, Jade, with buying second-hand stuff like that, for example, is there's going to be a Ford dealership within a 10-minute drive of most people's houses in Australia. Parts are easy to get, and Ford, keep looking after their customers with good service. I really think you're on a winner, really, because you're getting a low mileage car that's not going to be hard to keep maintaining.
Wendy's messaged in. She's asked, if you're selling privately, how much more are you pocketing rather than a trade-in?
Generally, quite a bit, Wendy. I mean, I've spoken to people who've tried to do a trade-in and found that they're getting offered about 50% of what the cars are advertised for privately. So let's say, for argument's sake, the car's worth $10,000 privately and you're being offered 5. You can't just assume you're going to get 10 if you sell it privately, but there's a very good chance you'll get 7.5 or 8. So for argument's sake there, you might be 15, 20% better off. So it's a tough one, because I speak to a lot of women who say, look, I don't want, just especially if they live on their own, they say, I don't want random people turning up at my house test driving cars, or they don't have to be women. They can just be people who don't know a lot about cars, and they say, I don't know enough to be able to deal with people who are coming to test drive the car. So you've got to weigh all that up, Jade, as well, and then ask yourself whether the other thing too is these days the headache of having people saying, yep, I'll be there at 10 o'clock on a Sunday, so you wait at home and then they don't turn up, or, they ring you at 10 and say they'll be there at 1 and then they don't turn up, whatever it is. I think you've got to weigh all that up. But generally speaking, you're going to get somewhere between 15 and probably 25% more if you sell it privately.
Let's go to Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, how are you guys?
Well, thanks.
I've got a 2011 Hyundai i30, but it's only done 82,000 K. And every year I have to battle with my insurer to get them to give me a breed value on it. At the moment, I've currently got it at 10 grand. How long do you reckon I'll be able to keep it at that value for?
Look, I think, and it's funny you say this because we've had this conversation with a whole bunch of insurers individually, and then we've also run some stories on the website. I think the biggest current issues we have in Australia, especially with the rain and the fires we've had and all of the natural disasters we've had in the last couple of years, is that the value of cars, as far as insurance companies are concerned, has absolutely not kept pace with what they actually cost to replace. So your i30 is a perfect example where you've got it insured for 10 and you would probably struggle to find exactly the same quality car that you have with those kilometres second-hand for $10,000. It's probably likely to be 12 or 13 or 14. So I think insurance companies have got to do a lot better at insuring cars for the value that they actually are on the second-hand market. I think that's one thing. But I reckon what you start to do is you start to shop around. So if you go to renew it again next year and you're not happy with the deal you're getting, I'd start shopping it around and see if you can find an insurer that is willing to insure it for the money that you will insure it for, because it's really important that you do have it covered for the value. Because we saw this with the Takata airbag thing. We had manufacturers saying to people, well, I'll buy the car back from you for $2,000 or $3,000. And then people were saying, well, I've got a perfectly good car here that if you give me $2,000 or $3,000 for it, what can I buy to replace it? I'm not going to get anything at all. So I think it's really important that you maximise what you get if something goes wrong.
Thank you, Kimberly. Let's go to Gary in Kapunda, our lucky last caller. Hey, Gary.
How you going?
Good, mate.
That's good. Hey, I was just wondering, I've got a 1986 Toyota Land Cruiser, mid-wheelbase, with about 400,000 kilometres on it. It's been sitting in my shed for 10 years and I haven't used it. Just wondering what it'd be worth.
Yeah, they're actually worth they're not worth quite a lot of money, but they're worth more money than you think, mate. So what I reckon might be a good idea with that one, if you stay on the line, I'll get the team to get your details and then you can send me some photos, and what I can do is I can send some photos and some details, and then I can send it on to some contacts I've got at Shannon's that do a lot of valuation for older cars and insurance for older cars as well. So, yeah, just stay on the line. We'll get your details. I'll send you an email, mate. You can send it through to me. I did this for a listener down there a couple of years ago, Jade, and we got a pretty good result via one of these channels, so we'll look into it.
Oh, good stuff, Gary. I've just flicked you back to Tammy, so hold the line. And Trent, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
No worries, Jade. Talk to you next week.
See you, legend. And if you'd like to jump on to drive.com.au, you can check out some of those stories that we spoke about earlier in the show. We're going to jump into the newsroom now. On the other side, we'll be talking about a weight loss trial. They're calling for volunteers here in South Australia. Also, Rod Stewart, he's coming to Adelaide. Are you going? And we're going to touch base with Angela Bishop in about an hour's time. She'll be starring in The Bold and the Beautiful.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with news headlines. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says he would support moves to ban the Nazi salute. The issue has dominated discussions after a group of neo-Nazis attended an anti-transgender rally in Melbourne. The number of homes still without power is now sitting at 1,200. Tonight's the night for local Rod Stewart fans. The singer will be performing at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And in sport, Adelaide's Shane McAdam will front the tribunal next hour. He's facing a 3-game suspension over his bump. Partly cloudy this afternoon, sunny tomorrow and 28. Right now it's 28 degrees. We'll have more news at 4 and, as it happens, on FIVEAA.
At Specsavers, we understand how important it is to hear well. We also understand that right now the last thing you need is to pay more than you should for hearing aids. That's why we're making some noise. Because you deserve to know what you'll pay straight away with upfront prices. And our everyday low prices on latest tech hearing aids doesn't mean you'll miss out on quality or professional advice. So for hearing care for all, not the few, should have gone to Specsavers.
Rex!
Concerned that your dog isn't a dog?
Come on, fetch!
Order a free dog test today to find out. Dogs go wacko for schmackos, imposters don't. Search Schmacko's dog test. T's and C's apply. Limited test kits available.
Keep your gutters free of leaves, debris and blockages with Gutter Night. Gutter Night is a high-quality, fully sealed gutter protection system that keeps your gutters clean and prevents downpipe blockages, even vermin from entering your roof space. Blocked, overflowing gutters will damage your home, and the upkeep is not only time-consuming and hard, it's dangerous. Trust Gutter Night to watch over your home. Jump on Facebook and search Gutter Night South Australia. That's Gutter Night South Australia.
At Orana, we believe everyone should live the life of their choice. That's why we create opportunities for people with disability to live as independently as possible. Our homes are safe, welcoming and above all supportive, where people can learn daily living skills, make friends and get more out of life. We support people with an NDIS plan for a short stay or in their forever home. For independent living, make your home with Orana. Visit oranaonline.com.au. Orana, creating opportunities.
I pride myself on keeping my car in mint condition. So if the part doesn't fit, I don't worry, because eBay's got my back with their money-back guarantee. So I can browse, buy, carefree with eBay's money-back guarantee.
G'day DIYer. At Bargain Steel Centre, you can DI as much as you like. Because at Bargain Steel Centre, we've got roofing and walling sheets rolled to length. We've got C-section rolled to length. We've got custom-made flashings and just about the biggest choice of RHS, angle, pipe and universal beam this side of Timbuktu. And because we're independent, you save lots. We can help you DI your guts out. Heaslip Road, Burton and suppliers of Colorbond Steel. bargainsteelcentre.com.au.
The numbers are in, and the LDV Deliver 9 just keeps delivering. The Deliver 9 was the best-selling large van in Australia in 2022. In fact, Drive.com.au called the LDV Deliver 9 terrific value for money. From just $43,990 drive away for ABN holders, the Deliver 9 has the features you need to keep your business moving. Test drive one today to see why it's Australia's best-selling large van. LDV, bring it on. Based on VFAX Heavy Commercial as at December 2022. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Welcome back to Afternoons. It's 25 minutes to 4 o'clock. Coming up after 4 o'clock, the sports show with Tredders and Timmy G. Tredders, big night at the tribunal tonight. This has blown my mind. Seriously.
What a joke.
Okay, if you're going to send one, send both.
Yeah, and Buddy gets one.
Oh, yeah, but there's different rules for Buddy. We all know that.
To be honest, in Clubland, there is a thought that
Dangerfield,
sometimes
Buddy,
the stars
Cochin.
get away with stuff that might not. What I find interesting... I had one sleepless night. Sam Mitchell ran around the back of me to get free of Tom Logan. I just threw my arm out, clocked him in the throat. I thought, I'm gone. Didn't get excited.
No
Mind
way.
you, I played 14 years. It was in my last year. Thought if I get done now, I'm gone.
They'll let it sleep.
They go, the old bloke can't run anymore. We won't ping him. But what I find really interesting here, Jade, is effectively the AFL, right, Cozzy Pickett, old school shirt front, don't get me wrong, but they can't do it anymore.
It was ugly, man.
Yeah, it was ugly. Yeah. And then the McAdam one, he ran probably just as hard but didn't jump. And the sweat that come flying off on the whiplash, right? Did they hit him in the head? Whatever. You still can't bump because it's subject to potential to do damage.
For sure.
But how can McAdam be graded severe, which is nothing more than severe? That is the highest grading of all. Yet Pickett only get graded at high.
That makes no sense.
So Pickett gets 2 games. McAdam gets straight to the tribunal where it's 3+. It just does not make sense. So fundamentally, our phones blew up on the drive show last night because this came through late and Crows fans, Port fans, Essendon fans were ringing in going...
I reckon footy fans.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is a football issue because I get how we want to have one size fits all, and we'll chat to Roy Sloane about this tonight.
Yeah.
It is a difficult one. We'll also chat to Kane Farrell from Port. Footy is not black and white. There's a lot of grey area.
Of course.
But in this instance, you won't get two similar incidents on the same weekend from same size small forward players, yet one is ranked worse than the other. And to be fair, I thought Pickett's was marginally worse, because I don't think he was running with the same force, but he left the ground.
Yep.
Whereas I thought McAdams probably had a more severe impact, but he didn't leave the ground. But I just can't see how. Yeah, both were carnage hits.
It is baffling.
It is baffling. It just doesn't make sense.
How can this be fixed, though? Do the AFL look at it and can they go back and go, oh, hang on a moment, Cozzy does need to go to the tribunal, or is that done? Closed case?
Well, he's accepted that, my understanding.
Right.
And I think the AFL's in a position where they can appeal that, but then we're already looking at Wednesday at best. You know what I mean? So my bit here is, if I'm the Adelaide Football Club, I'm not arguing whether he did anything bad. I'm arguing for a suspension of 2 weeks.
100%, same.
I just don't think it's fair how you can rate one severe and one high when for me it's within 2% of the same incident.
And the same weekend. It's not as if it's a couple of weeks apart and they've, had a brain fade and they've forgotten an incident 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's within 24 hours.
Oh, it doesn't, and this is the bit that the fans aren't quite understanding too.
Yeah.
Is this line has been added into the laws of the game, potential to cause injury. So those incidents, so McAdams' guy went off, came straight back on, no concussion, passed the test. Cozzy Pickett's played out. So it doesn't matter. In previous years, it would be, okay, that's fine, high free kick, that's it, because there was no injury. Now they've thrown in potential to cause injury, which effectively means you go to bump, you will be suspended.
Well, they're protecting the head, and we get that. But both of those incidences...
They both should be pinged similar.
Exactly.
They both had the same murder, but one's got an extra 5 years. It doesn't make sense.
No, it does not. I love this. This is going to be such a good conversation.
Frustrating.
Big news in the next couple of hours. Tredders, thanks so much for joining us.
No worries.
We all recognise this tune, Bold and the Beautiful theme song. Well, tune in just a couple of hours because our next guest reprises her role as JJ. Studio 10 host and entertainment editor Angela Bishop joins us. And great to have you on the program. Good afternoon.
Great to talk to you, Jade.
Hey, this is exciting. This is a pretty cool gig.
I know. If you had told little old me when I was just a plain old Bold and the Beautiful fan, when it first started on Channel 10 sort of 35 years ago, that one day I would be on it, I would never have believed it in a million years because it's just been my favourite soap forever. And to get the chance to play with those amazing actors and actresses is just a pinch myself moment.
So who is JJ?
So JJ is a very in-demand LA-based Australian event planner. So I suppose my biggest gig to date on the show has been when I planned Ridge and Brooke's most recent wedding. They've got hitched a few times over the years.
I was going to say, are they still married?
No, but it was the longest one they've had so far. They only split up late last year, so I'm taking credit for the fact that they lasted longer in that marriage than any of their other ones. I think it was the flower arrangements, a little something I did. There was, little freesia there, some special roses. It was the Castle magic.
We've got a little clip. Can I play it?
Sure.
Thank you so much, JJ. Everything looks gorgeous. That's my pleasure. And I love my bouquet. It is absolutely breathtaking.
Well, not as breathtaking as the bride.
She's right about that.
Congratulations. Have a wonderful wedding.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Oh, it's definitely the flower arrangement. So, tell us more about JJ.
Yeah, so anyway, now she's been called back for today, in today's episode for another big event. And today I was acting with Brooke and Katie, so Catherine Kelly-Lang and Heather Tom in that last scene. So tonight I'm acting with Sean Kanan, who plays Deacon Sharp, who's, of course, Hope's father, and a former prisoner, now made good, desperately in love with the villain or one of the baddies on Bold and the Beautiful, Sheila Carter, who, of course, cut off her own toe to make everyone believe she'd been mauled to death by a bear late last year. This is just a typical Bold and Beautiful storyline. And Yeah, and I love that sort of thing. I love those storylines. I love that Bradley Bell, the executive producer and writer of the show, just comes up with these absolutely amazing storylines, but still holds true to the relationships and characters that fans adore.
I'd love to ask, how on earth did it all come about?
Well, I did my very first Bold and the Beautiful story for Channel 10 when it first launched on the network. They had a launch party and they flew out two of the cast members, Ethan Wayne and Carrie Mitchum. And I did a story back then for Good Morning Australia with Bert Newton. And I met the cast. And then between then and now, when I've been to LA, I've often gone and done set visits and interviewed the cast at various key moments in the storyline. So when the whole cast came to Australia in 2017 to film at the Sydney Opera House and around, Bradley Bell, the executive producer, said, well, look, you're almost like family to us. We'd love to create a character. Would you do a little part? And he told me about JJ, and so I did my first scene down at Manly Wharf. And then since then, from time to time, when they need someone who can just plan these events, I get the call. So this was a few weeks ago in January that we filmed today's scene. And look, it's 3 lines, but it's 3 lines I sweated over because all the rest of the actors have like 20 pages of dialogue to learn, and I never want to muck it up. I've just got to make sure I get it right.
And did you nail it?
I did. We had one rehearsal on set, and of course, Sean Kanan, who I was acting with, just made it so easy. He was so wonderful. So, yes, I did manage to nail it, thank goodness.
Did you have to do any acting lessons over the years?
Oh, when I was a kid, yeah, at school, you know, like everyone. I think, you know, you do the school plays and stuff, but no, this is not a NIDA trained performance, let me assure you. This is, you know, thankfully they don't ask me to put on an American accent. They've decided that JJ is Australian, but she now lives in Beverly Hills. So basically I use as my inspo. If I was going to go full method, full Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm just trying my best to be a bit like someone on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know, just a busy Beverly Hills, you know, working woman who's just got a lot on her plate. Yeah, that sort of vibe. Kyle would be my hero, yep.
Tell me about the photo that you left on set.
Yeah, so this was people who watch The Bold and the Beautiful will know that in the main Forrester office at Forrester Creations, behind the big desk, is a sideboard with lots and lots of family photos on it. So I had this great idea that I would leave a photo that I had taken with me and Torsten Kay, who plays Ridge, and I'd just put it on there and see if anyone noticed that this was not a proper Forrester family photo. And it actually stayed on there for quite a while, and viewers told me they saw it in the back of scenes because I did a story showing that I'd done it, so fans knew that I'd done it. Anyway, when I got back a few weeks ago, it had vanished, and I asked the props mistress, and I said, "Where do you think it's gone?" She goes, "I'm going to go on a hunt because I don't know where it's gone, and that's very interesting." So we searched through all the drawers on set. We found it in a drawer, and so she actually put it back. And so now I'm waiting to see if it's there when I look from now on. So we put it back on today's episode. So I'm going to see in coming episodes whether it's still there, whether JJ gets to be in the family photos there on the back of the sideboard.
The cheeky Aussie.
Yeah, I know. You know, I just thought I'd give it a try. So we'll see. We'll see if it lasts. No one was angry, I have to say. Everyone thought it was very, very funny.
Is there any chance that they could make this, you know, this character, I guess, a full-time thing?
I don't think my acting skills are up to that. I think Jacqueline McGinnis-Wood, who plays Steffi Forrester, was very kind, and she said, "You're nailing this. You should come and be a regular." And that was my moment in the sun. That was my happiest moment in my life that she said like that. But I know, watching all of them, and they are so good at what they do, and watching me, that the acting fairy has not touched me. You know, their jobs are more than safe. But I adore it, and any time I get the call. You know, I was over hosting G'day USA when I was there, and I went to do some interviews on set because they had all these great plot developments, and I got the call, could JJ come in? We need her for something. And I just said, Yes, amazing. Call me anytime. That would be incredible.
Oh, Angela, it's so much fun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jade. Really appreciate it.
And you can catch Angela tonight on The Bold and the Beautiful. It kicks off at 4:30 p.m. on Channel 10. Well, are you looking for a boost to lose weight? Participants are needed for a herbal weight loss product trial here in Adelaide. Joining us to tell us all about it is Dr. Janet Schloss, a lead investigator at the Southern Cross University National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine. Lovely to have you on the program. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Jade. So, thank you so much for having me on.
Pleasure. Tell us all about this this trial that you're looking into.
Yeah, we've actually been running it for a little while, and we've now been able to extend it to different areas around Australia, and Adelaide's definitely one of them. And what we're after is people who are just wanting to lose those last couple of kilos, and it's a herbal mix, which has got 3 different herbs, versus a placebo for people who are aged between 18 and 60.
All right. And it's, I guess, as we all know, a lot of us, that are overweight, it can lead to the increase of health conditions such as heart and cardiovascular disease, strokes, type 2 diabetes, you name it. Is this for people that perhaps have other health ailments?
No, not necessarily. What we're after is more healthy individuals at this stage, and you are completely correct. Being overweight and obese can actually lead to lots of health complications, including your cardiovascular disease and diabetes. But we're wanting more healthy type people who don't have a lot of those other diseases and generally have a BMI of between 25 and 30, which is considered to be overweight.
Okay, and how long does the trial last?
16 weeks for each person.
And what does the commitment look like?
The commitment, generally, it is an online trial but they do actually have to go see a local health practitioner in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And they need to get their weight done and measurements and stuff done. That's there. And then they just need to take a supplement every day for the 6 weeks, twice a day. They also get given dietary advice. So for females, it has to be, under 1,500 calories a day, and for men, 2,000 calories a day, and they get given dietary information and things of how to be able to do that. They also get given the MyFitnessPal app, which can actually help them track their calorie intake as well as their exercise. So that actually helps their lifestyle understanding of what's actually happening and how much they're actually eating, what they're actually doing, and monitoring part of their weight.
So this is a herbal supplement?
Correct. Yes, it's got 3 different herbs that are in there that we're actually trialling to see if we can make a claim, or the company can actually make a claim to assist people who are overweight to lose weight in a healthy manner.
And if somebody wants to be a part of it, how do they get in contact with you?
Yeah, definitely. They just need to look onto our website, which is NCNM, which you very proudly read out before, and we have our clinical trial site on there. In addition, they can actually email us on ncnmtrials@scu.edu.au.
Doctor, thank you very much for your time. Good luck.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
He's a key defender for the Adelaide Crows and a fan of fine films. Join Tom Duday with David and Will each Thursday on 5AA Breakfast, thanks to Leader Computers.
Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer, based right here in Adelaide.
Every day, Bupa helps prepare millions of Australians for life's ups and downs. Which is why we're delaying premium increases for Bupa members until the 1st of October 2023. Search Bupa to find out more.
With power prices continuing to soar, Solar Heart is helping smart Australians soak up more sunshine, store more energy, and save more money on every bill. And right now, you can save up to $1,000 on Solar Heart solar power systems, including our new high-performance 415-watt silhouette panels. The bigger the system, the bigger the saving. So don't settle for soaring power prices. Get smart. Get Solar Heart. Terms and conditions apply.
Come on in. We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
What's on your bucket list? Skydiving? Swimming with dolphins? Hot air ballooning? Before you plan a bucket list, plan your will with Donlan Lawyers. A will, power of attorney and advanced care directive speak for you when you can't. It means you and your loved ones will be taken care of. Visit donlanlawyers.com. Put it on your bucket list. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
At Coles this Easter, you'll find excellent value everywhere you look. Like half-price Cadbury Dairy Milk Bunny 80 grams, now just $2.50. That's value the Australian way, only at Coles. Offer ends March 28.
Now here's the shocking truth. The majority of all ham sold in Australia is actually made from imported meat. Good news is, it's easy to spot ham made from true Australian pork. You just pick a pack with the pink pork logo.
Patience pays off, especially if you've been holding out for a great deal on a new Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen is now receiving truckloads of new Volkswagens. Yes, they're coming. And they're available at amazing prices. Remember Mawson Lakes Volkswagen for servicing too, with next day servicing and free loan cars. Get a great deal on Volkswagen now. Don't dilly-dally, dawdle or delay. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Rex! Fetch!
Concerned that your dog isn't a dog?
Come on, fetch!
Order a free dog test today to find out. Dogs go wacko for schmackos, imposters don't. Search Schmacko's Dog Test. T's and C's apply. Limited test kits available.
Jade Lobran, Talking Adelaide on 1395 5AA.
Welcome back to the program. We are live streaming, all thanks to Foodland Supermarkets. If you'd like to tune in on Facebook, YouTube or 5AA.com.au.
Tonight's the night. It's gonna be alright. 'Cause I love you, girl. Ain't nobody gonna stop us now.
Well, the great man Rod Stewart, tonight is the night for Rod Stewart fans. The rock and roll superstar is in Adelaide and will belt out hit after hit at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre tonight. But after cancelling his last show in Melbourne, he was due to sing Out a Day on the Green in Geelong on Saturday. Fans were a little worried about whether he would take to the stage, but he has taken to his own media, his social media account, to say that he's now feeling A-OK.
My dear friends in Adelaide, just to guarantee that the show will be going ahead. I had a slight setback here in Melbourne. I had to miss a show because I had strep throat. But I'm fine now and I'll be there and looking forward to it.
Well, he sounds a little bit husky there, doesn't he? I know that is his voice, though. Joining us is Paul Cashmere, executive producer and founder of Noise11.com. Paul, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Well, hello there, Jade. I'm glad you're getting a good show tonight because I was one of the people heading down to Geelong on Saturday afternoon when we got the text message through. But I was lucky enough to see him earlier in the week on Tuesday night at Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne.
So what can we expect then? Because I heard that concert was pretty good.
Oh, it was excellent. When I compare it to the Sting show of a few weeks earlier, even the Elton John show, we've just had the Ed Sheeran tour through, and Billy Joel played in Melbourne late last year. So we've had some major acts come through here. But I think if the word you want is fun, this was the most fun of the lot. And right from the very start when he comes out with a bit of a tribute to Robert Palmer when he does Addicted to Love right at the very beginning. And there's a lot of tributes through the show. But this is just, as you say, hit after hit after hit. And you're just going to love all of the songs, no matter what he does tonight, because he will change things. He's not an Elton John where the first song at every show or, the entire set list is the same every single night for, 4 years of a tour. He does shake things up a bit, so you may get a few surprises tonight. The Melbourne show last Tuesday was different to the Perth show a few days earlier. So you get the bulk of all the hits that will be there. You won't lose anything, but you might get a few different things.
I want to ask you, he said he had a strep throat. I remember back in May 2000 he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. He underwent surgery the same month. He's reported that he suffered from a benign vocal cord nodule as well. Do you feel like these health things could be something bigger, or we're reading into it?
Oh, look, he sounded absolutely perfect on Tuesday night. There was some reports on the Wednesday night show that I wasn't at that the voice was showing a bit of wear and tear. Mm-hmm. So that could have been, him just, performing 2 nights in a row. Mm. But Cyndi Lauper, who was also one of the opening acts, also had a bad throat on Wednesday night, but hopefully she has recovered, seeing it's 1 week later as well. But that's a great double act. You've got Cyndi Lauper and Rod Stewart and John Stevens in there.
Oh, it is going to be sensational. Paul, thank you very much for joining us. Have fun, all those people that are going tonight. It's going to be absolutely sensational. And I am going to leave you now with this song. The Sports Show is coming up next. Have a great afternoon, and let's do it all again tomorrow. Yeah,